Folks, welcome back. My name is Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. Today, we are going to just do more discussions on this wild, turbulent market with the actual Pokemon, the new block and era known as Scarlet and Violet, and the very surprising to most stores in the community, the impact of, well, what's happening with the secondary markets, the pricing, and how the market's kind of not real happy with the new block. It's been quite an interesting, I guess, turn of events, or I guess concerning point or whatever. So this video is brought to you by my patron, Dr. Dakota over here, and we're going to do two Scarlet and Violet box openings. It's been a long time. This is the very first time I've ever opened any of the new block of packs and everything. So, there's the old silver borders. There they are. Interesting. Boy, it does feel different, huh? Commons, uncommons. Uncommon, and there's our first little very soft, fancy, schmancy little foily uncommon or common guy. And there's our, the order is definitely very different. So while I crack these, and you guys can kind of watch if you want, or listen to more of a podcast style or whatever you'd like. How do I say this? So I don't know if the market's more surprised on what's happening, concerned. Ooh, oh wow, okay, that's, holy smokes. That's a beautiful energy card. Wow, okay. And of course, a foily little holo rare. I feel like the market was so excited for the next Pokemon block because the old Sword and Shield is just so impossible to get and became so expensive and desirable. I feel like everybody just was ready to go balls deep, super crazy with the new era. There's our first flashy, fancy schmancy hit over here. Koradan! EX. And I feel like people were just so bullish because of how successful. And I've been telling you all for a while. I think the Sword and Shield block is going to go down almost like as a historical, one of the best blocks in Pokemon history. I was talking about that like 6 months ago. And even with the little small reprints here and there and some things happening, I don't think that changes any of the fundamental demand and overall acceptance and excitement that the market has for Sword and Shield era. I mean, and again, like I always say, you never fully know until something's over with and you can reflect back on it in the past. That's one of the worst things about collectibles and CCGs and the market and a beautiful little Skeleturge. You never really know how good or bad something's going to be until you get past it. You stop, you turn around, you look back and reflect on it because it's very confusing. You get a lot of false signals, a lot of confusing narrative online, a lot of emotion and anger. Inhalate. And, that makes it difficult to make, long-term investment or collecting. And it makes it difficult to make decisions on buying a product or thinking about a product when you get that much kind of mixed feedback on everything. And to remind everybody, as we went through Sword and Shield block, for the Professor's Research, our first little fancy little trainer there, as we went through the Sword and Shield era, about half the sets of the Sword and Shield era were, met with skepticism and negativity, including Battle Styles, Chilling Reign. Let's see here. What was another weak one? Oh, Fusion, Fusion Strike. And I mean, even at the end there, like Lost Origin, Silver Tempest, they weren't crazy gangbusters. People were still very skeptical of that kind of stuff. And, now, obviously looking back on it, you could have bought any of it. You could have just bought all of it on day one and just done nothing, and you would have came out like a rock star. And, it's easy to say that because we all know that now. But in the moment, ooh, here we go. Really, really, well, that was really neat looking. Wow, Ralts, wow, that's a beautiful card. Okay. But like they said, looking now at this new Scarlet and Violet, I feel like every block in Pokemon, excuse me, I feel like every block in Pokemon starts off with like a negativity, concern, or a skepticism, or people aren't sure if, this is it for Pokemon, or, I feel like every new block starts with this bizarre, how do I say it? Like this bizarre, like the glory days are over. Does that make sense? Like, oh wow, look at that slow, bro. Yeah, the silver gray does look good on some of the cards. They're really, boy, the packs and the quality feel really good. Like they feel better than the Sword and Shield to me. Like the glue and the rat, like it feels different to me. It has kind of a different vibe, and I don't know, it feels pretty good. But anyways, you know, I don't think anything has really changed on this new block. And I feel like people, once again, are going to miss. There we go. There's our next big old flashy EX, GX type craziness over there. So we've got 2 so far, which is right on track with the box average and all that. But I feel like everybody is, once again, just like Sword and Shield base in the very beginning, I feel like everybody's just kind of downplaying the opportunity right now. And of course, I understand the economic conditions and the macro conditions are not exactly favorable. So that's continuing to add downward pressure on a lot of things. But I don't think it's that bad. I think this is going to age just fine. And I think, as with everything in life, most people are going to miss out. Just like every other time. Little King Gambit, huh? And it's so weird. Like, if you really step back and you study and you think about the way social media in the CCG world works, you kind of get all these products come out. And you get a lot of talking heads and voices online that want to go for the views and clicks. And the way you do that is you kind of talk negative, or you introduce drama or some sort of OMG kind of intense thing to really shake up the market and get people to want to listen and click. But like I talked about in one of my other videos, you know, you never really get a follow-up from those type of YouTube channels and those type of online personalities. They never really follow up, you know, in the future on good and bad of how these products unfold. It's just a dramatic thing at the beginning, and they move on to the next thing, and it's just kind of, you know, oh, Professor Research, wow, that looks, cards do look nice. Card quality looks decent. So it's always one of those things where I always had an issue with that. I always thought that, you know, people who cover drama, positive and negative, you need to cover both sides of the story to make sure you present and you share how, whoa, what the heck is that? A Drowsy, a really wild looking card. Whoa. Okay, that's pretty cool looking. Wow. Okay, I'm going to put that up in the crazy. I mean, I know we've had a lot of crazy stuff, but holy cow. That's a whole different vibe and artwork and texture to it and everything. That's a kind of a wild one. Okay. Dang, that looked really neat. It caught me off guard. And Defiance Band and another, wow. So another one, are these textured? These are kind of textured. Beautiful Miss Penny over here. Gorgeous card again. Wow, feels like we're getting quite a bit of hits and pulls on here. I thought people told me, like, in the new Scarlet Violet, like, the pull rates were tougher. I feel like we're getting quite a bit. Holy smokes, like, this box is really producing quite a bit for box 1 here. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Houndstone. So, anyways, you know, I just feel like, once again, we're in a new... Because I remember the same thing happened with Sword and Shield. I remember back in the Sun and Moon era, we had a similar thing. Right, we rolled into Sun and Moon. Everybody was like, well, you know, oh, there we go. Toxic Croak EX. I remember everybody, well, you know, the EX era, or the XY era was overprinted. Everything's weak. All right, so now we're going to the new block, Sun and Moon, blah. Not going to be that good of an era. Like, I almost feel like it's natural for humans to go into any form of change. Wow, we're getting a lot of crazy pulls. Iron Treads GX, or EX. Wow, we're getting there's a lot of pulls in this box. Is it normal to get this many pulls? Do they make the pull rate easier? Or they make the pull rate more difficult? Because holy smokes, we're getting a ton of pulls. I don't remember there being this many. I was like, I thought they said they made the pull rate more difficult. Did they make it easier? So they're not as valuable, maybe? Because this is kind of, like, suspicious. Like, I'm getting suspicious on how many pulls we're getting now. Like, whoa, this is a lot of flashy hits in a single box. Like, I'm kind of getting like, okay, are they not worth as much? Did they change the whole thing? I don't know. Anyways, I think about this kind of stuff quite a bit. I spend time kind of studying and watching the attitude and the behavior of everything online and comment sections and YouTubers and the Facebooks, MySpace, Discords, Reddits, and everything. And I kind of like to watch and learn of how people's kind of, you know, how they're reaching out and kind of how they're poking the new product. Is everybody real negative? Is everybody real positive? Is it justified? Is it kind of just a bunch of memes and clickbait? Is it truly something bad about to happen? Or are people just speculating, or people are just saying, oh, it's not as good as, you know, the previous, and people are just naturally negative and bitter? Holy cow. All right, that is a King Gambit. So they got these extended full art version cards. Holy, that's pretty wild looking there. Okay. So I always try to figure that stuff out. I've always tried to see if there's some sort of pattern to anything, or some sort of behavior where you can learn on how these products, before they release, the attitude. And some of the best things I've always liked to go by is the sell-through rate online, more so than what the talking heads on the internet are. Beautiful there, Mirrodin EX, holy cow. Okay, so I'm thinking, I feel like the pull rates are easier. I feel like the pull rates have they been easier? Have they been reduced easier? The old NBD. Like, I feel like doing the XY era and Sun and Moon boxes and Sword and Shield, I feel like those boxes, it was tougher to get hollows and different hits. I feel like this is easier to get hollows and hits. I don't know. I'm like questioning the whole thing, because I swear, when we did like a Roaring Skies box opening and some older box openings a little while ago, I swear, we didn't get nearly this many pulls. It's like, I feel like now, like every couple packs, we're getting all kinds of craziness. Like, are you supposed to get that many pulls in a single box? Did they increase the pulls because they increased the price? Like, to try to do something like that? Holy cow. That is a wild... Whoa. That is gorgeous texture. Whoa. As I said, the pools, and did they make it bigger? Did they make more possibilities in the pool? I don't know. I guess I have to research this. I didn't really expect that. It's my first opening. I guess in this new era of Pokemon, but dang, definitely, dang, really caught me off guard there. Holy cow. I didn't expect this kind of pull rates on like one box. So we're going right in the box too. And that was quite an extreme amount of pulls. So Dakota, I don't know, Dakota, if that was considered a really good box, like above average. I don't know if that was just, they changed the pull rates or what. Is that why people they're worth less? And because they're too easy to pull? There's nothing, whoa. Pack 1. A textured, wild looking nest ball. That's cool. Okay. Like I said, I can't tell. It just feels like something's been modified on this, and maybe that was part of the price increase to try to make it easier to get. But see, that's something, we always argue about in the secondary market between players, collectors, and evil investors. When you modify pull rates of things, holy cow, okay. This is like 3 packs in. We are getting insanely, like wild pull rates. Like, I'm very curious to see what this comment section is going to be, because I have a funny feeling, they modified pull rates and ratios and things on these new boxes with the new price increases. Okay, really? Like 3-4 packs in, and almost every pack has these crazy pulls? Okay. I don't recall that from Sword and Shield and XY and Sun and Moon era when I was doing box openings. I don't recall the pull rates being this insane. Beautiful. God, that Slowbro is so beautiful. Holy cow, that is really neat looking. Huh. Anyways, but that's one of the arguments that the player, collectors, investors always attack each other for, because players want all the flashy cards. What the hell? Holy smokes. Okay. Dude, every pack we're getting insane things. Okay, so the rarities of these things had to have been adjusted. This is insane amount of pulls. Like, this is ridiculous now. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we're a couple pack, either that or this is the luckiest Pokemon box opening of all time in history. And Dakota, you're just getting ridiculous amounts of hits. I'm thinking something's been changed here, because Pokemon's pretty consistent usually on track printing and pull rates. They're usually very, very specific on that. So I have a hard time believing these are like defective boxes and we're pulling too much. I'm thinking, I'm thinking the pull rates and things were changed, and which means a lot of these cards aren't going to have much value, and even the hits are going to be super cheap because, well, they're not tough to pull anymore. I'm starting to really believe that. Anyways, so moving on here. It's interesting. The Pokemon market is so different compared to the Magic, the Flesh and Blood, the Weiss, the MetaZoo, the new. There's no substitute for how bizarre and unique the Pokemon market is. Like, the attitude towards it, the actual people who play Pokemon is like, it's got to be like 3 to 5% of the player base actually plays Pokemon. The amount of people who actually play the game is so incredibly low, and we got another crazy card quality. Looks really nice though. It looks very, I'm not seeing a lot of crappy card quality like I saw in the past. So that seems to be a pretty positive thing on there. But yeah, it's just crazy. So I would assume that if you get this many fancy cards, I would assume the price is only going to be like maybe like $5, $10 for the hits. It's not going to be very high. Where some of the older sets, like you look at like Evolving Skies with these insanely expensive chase cards, that's one of the reasons those boxes were cracked like crazy and they're so sought after, because the pull rates are, well, if you can get some of the crazy expensive cards, it's a big deal. Professor's research in basic energy. All right, let's we're on the end of this video here. Last 20 packs of box 2. Like I said, it doesn't look like those lucky boxes. I'm starting to think this is just how the new era of Pokemon, just kind of how the boxes are prepped. So anyway, if you're a fan of Pokemon and this is kind of your thing, I think this is kind of this is the type of market you want. Holy cow, what is that? Holy smokes, a textured GEX. Whoa. Wow, okay. Like people should be happy about this. Like if you're a regular player or collector of Pokemon, you should be thrilled that new sets are coming out in, oh golly, Gyarados, jeez Louise. Look at that Gyarados, wow. That's crazy. Like, you should be happy right now that these new sets are coming out and they're accessible. The prices are pretty stable and cheap, and you can accumulate or buy as much or as little as you want of this. Like, this product is tanked on TCG Player. Stores cost bases are almost $100 a box. And it's like, I mean, how could you not enjoy this? Like, versus, a new set comes out and it's $150, $200 a box. And there's none to go around. You complain you can't get it. Well, you've got kind of a calm, stable market now. People should be like celebrating that you can buy any amount of new Pokemon boxes at fair and cheap, kind of normal pricing. I mean, if these boxes are like $110 online, like that's it right now. Like, it's crazy. And you can get almost any quantity. They're not rare. They're not difficult to locate. The oink. Look at that pig card. I mean, look at the difference of that compared to, I don't know, Silver Tempest or something. Or some of the previous releases, Brilliant Stars. Like, look at the difference. Oh, wow. Team Starter. Wow, there are so many flashy hits in this thing. Holy crap. Like, look at the pile of all different, like, full arts and trainers and hits and texture. Like, we're getting so many cards. Like, wow. Like, holy cow. Like, is the set size bigger? Did they increase how many there are in the pool? Like, look at this. That's insane. They're all different. Dang, man. Like, that's... But anyways, in conclusion of this, I know we're getting towards the end of the video. Again, Dakota, thanks for being a very kind patron. I'm assuming this is a good box opening video. I'm not familiar. We'll have to price check all this stuff afterwards to see what's going on. But you got a lot of hits. We got like almost no duplication. So that, I mean, that's considered all positive because you're kind of diversified in all your different hits. So if there is a couple cards worth a lot, well, you're going to hit them. But I just think, oh, what is this? Holy cow. Here we go again. Professor's research, and it looks like Mr. Crabman. Wow. Holy smoke. So, conclusion of this stuff is, people are going to complain. The market's going to be the market no matter what, right? If things are expensive, some people are happy. Some people are, oh, it's inaccessible. Pokemon's a scam. They're not printing enough. Or they're hosing the kids. You can't, but then when they do print enough and the prices start to fall apart, get super cheap. Wow, great. Geez, another hit. Then everybody gets upset in stores and distribution. Things start getting fire sold and nobody wants to restock it. Then you start swinging the other way. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the cycle of the CCG world and the CCG economy of ebbs, flows, booms, and busts. That's, welcome to 2023. 2023, in conclusion, I gotta say kind of a final thing here. I know we're in the video, no one's probably watching Professor Research. In conclusion of this video, as we continue to deleverage, unwind the 2020-2021 bubble, the COVID bubble of supply chain and money machine goes burrs and all the cryptos and GameStops and everything that happened, as everything continues to deleverage in return to a 2019 normal world, we're going to continue to see weakened collectible markets, weakened markets across the board as we continue our slow and steady march back to a normal, pre-COVID world. And a lot of people thought it would never happen, and it is. And the hangover feels rough sometimes. It feels rough.